I mean, I've always wondered about that actually, because there's about a 30-second delay, but I would assume that if they're listening to it, it's going to be really difficult for them to even concentrate because we'll just be in their ear the entire time.
That's fair.
Plus, you'd hope that the opponent can kind of hear it or whatever. But yeah, we are live, mate. Thank you very much for joining me on this one. I know you got lucky and got the old first round bye, which is sometimes a blessing and a curse.
Yeah.
But welcome, game 1, tournament number 2, round 1. It's going to be a bit of a mouthful by the end of the day. Give me 1 second. I just want to quickly share this on Facebook. But basically, we're sitting here. We got Matt on our right, so that's the perspective I'll be sitting on. So I sit to the side of the table. At the bottom of my screen, you'll see round number, VPs, what they're playing, all that kind of stuff. And then you'll have Matt on my right, since that's what the stream review will always have, red on the right, and then we've got Blair on the left. So that way, if you hear me saying, top left or, whatever, you'll see it all sitting up there.
Nope, that tracks. Makes sense.
Perfect.
And also, thanks for having me.
No worries.
I'm excited to actually get to see some of this happen.
Hell yeah. And do you want to introduce yourself as well?
Yep. So, Exalted Tilapia on the handles. Some of you probably played with me already. I've been active on the server for about a month now, but came over from War Machine, actually. So, kind of used to AMG's game style, and like I said, been playing about a month, fell in love with the game, and now I'm just getting reps in.
Living the dream. Yeah, it's good. It's actually, I had somebody else ping me about commentating to do as a newer player. So it should be interesting to see different experience levels doing the commentary side of it.
Absolutely. All right. 4 wide versus 5 wide on swords. So
that's going to be interesting. So I used to think that 5, whoever had more on swords was almost an auto win. Not a little bit more complex than that, depending on what the 4 wide's gone. 1 second. Perfect.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, the 4. So they've got the Mysterio plays, right?
Yep.
But the other side's gonna have the lizard, and it's got the toad push, the spider pull, the spider pull. That's a lot. There's a lot happening.
It's heaps of control, right? I do quite like playing sword over your other style of this, your pay to flips and that kind of stuff, because it's just interact 50-50, you get it. You don't have to worry about rolling more than what they've got, etc., etc.
Right. Yeah, no, I'm inclined to agree. I think, let me take a look at tactics here. So let me just turn on stream review so I just have a good, easy look at tactics rather than...
Stream review 1, timer's off. Don't mind about that. Top down, and good to go. Cool. Wargaming Dad, what's happening, brother?
So, looking at Indomitable webbed up. Man, I could be wrong here, but I'm 80% that Alix is just gonna take this one.
This is a difficult one, yeah. It's one with Blair, but what's he sitting on? We got Mysterio's solid. He's got some shenanigans there. Venom's got a really good pull. Green Goblin is solid. Doc Ock. What do we got? We got well laid plans. So the extract wise, I think is probably going to be sitting advantage. The spider foes, except that we're probably looking at a Miles sitting on the other side. We are.
Yeah, I mean, there's a slight extract advantage, between Toad and Black Cat. I almost think that. Yeah, I think he's just gonna pile them onto Toad, get 2 of them onto Toad, and Toad's just gonna sit on the back, right?
Yep, he'll leave.
Even if he drops them,
That being said, we're sitting there with hammers and sword. So if you're taking the hammers and running, whoever's left behind with those hammers is definitely going to have a serious advantage because they're going to be punching quite hard. So Blair lost priority as well, which is actually probably good for him here.
I think losing priority is just better, honestly. On the first round. I think the prior roll is actually... I think they swung too hard. I know it's not the same as it used to be and that there was a problem, but I think they swung too hard.
I agree. Yeah, that's been the common consensus, is that you want to basically lose priority because if you don't get the control of dictating what one of the secures or extracts is going to be anymore, you just get to pick whether you get secures or extracts. So yeah, you've kind of lost all. They kind of went complete opposite, didn't they? Used to be all priority was all advantage. Now it's not.
I think so. The problem is you can't have the priority player pick between secure and extract and then pick the points.
Yeah.
Right. That's still
It's
too much. So I think
it's way too much power.
the fix would be if winning the prio roll meant whoever has prio picks table side.
Yep.
Would be fix number 1, and B, winning the roll does not dictate that you have priority. It gives you the choice of who has priority.
Yeah, it's always been strange to me in this game that it's just you roll and you're given, like you don't get a choice. That's something that's always been strange to me, because other games that I've played has always been you roll and, you know, when you're done, it's, I get the choice of what I want to do. Whereas this one's just like, here you go, it's what you get. And I agree that also whoever gets to choose whether it's extracts or secures should also get choice of table edge, because it's too much power sitting on the other side. But
I'm a little interested in what Blair's doing here, because he's abandoning that top sword and that hammer.
Yeah, so
in addition, Venom is not in like a great spot to be lethal protectoring for the bottom console, where Mysterio is probably going to be sitting. So
Mysterio should be fairly tanky. I mean, Mysterio is currently only looking down the barrel of Toad, so I don't know if Matt needed to go for that hammer, to be honest. I think if he had gone with Toad down the bottom, he'd be in a much better position, because I don't think that Blair has anyone that can reach that top hammer.
I think you're right. With only 1 power, like there's no climbing gear play on the table.
Nope. Well, there's just not. There's nothing that can even move that fast, right? So if I was sitting in Matt's shoes currently, I would have just looked at it and gone, I actually don't even need to run up and grab this first, because he's got nothing that makes it this fast. So if you grab one in the middle, or let's say you grab that bottom hammer, then you're going to go up 3 hammers to round 1.
I'm also super curious as to how Lizard. He did not grab the hammer. Okay. It looked like Lizard had the hammer, so they both just ignored the hammer. Yeah, no, there was no reason, I think, for the early Lizard play, but
just shows you how strong owning the majority of these swords are compared to the hammers, right? I mean, if you own 3 hammers, you're essentially negating your opponent owning the sword. But that being said, it's a damn size easier to flip those swords if you're the first one there, right?
Yeah, I don't know. There's 2 ways to look at it, right? You either take the consoles early, and you're playing for that hard VP game, and that is just what you are in for, right?
Yep.
Or you run up and you try to get 3 hammers, just completely foregoing the idea that you're going to take consoles. You probably don't even try to flip them 1-2-1, and you just you go into combat and hope that you can attrition your way into taking back the consoles.
Yeah, exactly. So if I'm Blair here, to be honest, I am taking that Green Goblin and I'm taking that bottom hammer. And the reason I'm doing that is because the huge advantage to being first player, right, is that you're typically the guy who can take the odd extract. Secures, there's no secures in the game. Well, there is, but there's no, like, quote unquote secures that are you can take an odd one out straight away. So it looks like we're choosing just complete violence.
Violence against Black Cat is a decision.
Is it against Black Cat or against... It is against Black Cat.
Yeah, no, going into Black Cat.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you're not upset about getting rid of Black Cat straight away. You are giving her power for a steal, though.
Right, I was going to say, I think power starving her, especially because he used her to take a console instead of letting her sit with power.
Yep.
I think at that point you just power starve her, but that's just my take. I think I'm 100% with you. Green Goblin, go down, grab a hammer, set up for some turn 2 violence.
Yeah. 100%.
Especially because
I've got enough
he doesn't
games
have
against...
a hit run the turn.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. I've got enough games against Black Cat now to know that hitting her when she's just sitting open like that is often the trap. Because you're just giving Matt power. Matt does a lot of games against Wreath, who's our current tabletop Swiss champion. And that's one of Wreath's tactics, is he leaves Black Cat sitting out early to try and get you to punch her, so that he has the power to immediately get a steal and just leave.
Right, or worse, like it can get even worse, right? Like it might be a stagger and a steal and a lead. Like it just
Oh
gets
yeah,
snowball real
yeah,
fast.
it gets so
Um,
much worse.
like you can't not fight that team, right? But I think if you're making attacks, it needs to be, Gwen whenever possible, and then Miles and Toad. And I think you never attack Black Cat and Lizard this game.
Yeah. I'm trying to think.
Foes are
Lizard
good.
typically effort in futility to try and kill unless you have something that can punch hard enough, consistently enough to get through it, right? Black Cat is annoying enough that with stealth Black Cat's annoying enough that I specifically bring Mark for Death in nearly all my rosters right now just to deal with her. Miles, again, he's another character similar to Black Cat. He's like the old school Black Cat, right? Where he used to Venom Blast and then run. Definitely one to watch out for. I expect to see Gwen go straight to the center, and I would probably expect to see Miles probably come lurking down near Mysterio, to be honest.
I think Gwen's going to go to the edge of that building and just take a single web shot.
Yeah, agreed. She's just going to get power to do get her lifesaver online.
That's it. Yep. I think she's going to stay on the building for the free cover and to be in position for like all of the pull directions that they want in the world.
Yep. So we're currently
Venom not picking up the hammer is... I mean, I know he wants one on Goblin, right? But again, I think that's why Goblin needed to get a hammer already.
Yeah, the thing is he had the option to get one on Goblin. Unlucky, not going to flip that either.
Because I definitely want a hammer on Venom, right? For the clapbacks.
Yep. So we're looking at currently, I would say that would be Blair's last interaction with the sword this round. I would assume that Goblin's going to grab that hammer and then get into position. So Matt will be winning the sword, and looks like we're going to be going to 3-2 for round 2.
Yeah, it's going to be worse than that, right? Because Matt's winning the sword, and he's going to have 2 hammers. Oof. And Lizard's in a position to get another hammer. Blair's in a lot of trouble, and we're not even through round 1.
Yeah, that's 5-2. I mean, Blair is relatively new to Marvel. He's also, I've played with Blair before in X-Wing, our previous game, and he was one of the world's best in that. So I expect him to, once he gets enough reps under him in this game, will be a serious contender for one of the guys to win one of these tournaments or the league. But definitely, I find Sword in particular is one of those you have to go for the sword, right? Because if you don't, you can get pounded because priority player gets to push you in the power phase and either set you up for a kill or ruin your priority if you own the sword, which typically, if you're moving last, you're going to be losing priority, right? So we're looking at Matt. Matt will be going last and he owns sword. So if he's cheeky, we're going to see that Ghost Spider move up, displace possibly Venom, and then look at double displacing him with the sword, which will be really bad.
That's certainly a possibility.
And he just advanced RNG as well.
Oh boy, okay.
Yep. So now we got Ghost Spider sitting on 2 power. So I expect to see her probably double move and look at doing just a web line pull.
Maybe. I honestly, if I'm... Well, he still has a hammer to pick up, right? So the hammer's going to Gwen. If I'm Matt right here, seeing that Blair has just committed to violence, right? Which I don't think is necessarily wrong. I think there were some other decisions to be made there that may have been better, but I don't think he's going to out-scenario play spiders without fighting them. But I think if I'm Matt here, right, he's bunched up in the middle. He's got Lethal Protector. Goblin and Ock both have a decent bit of reach, and he's got the foes rerolls. I think I just split, right? Yep. I think Black Cat probably goes actually back edge of board. He probably runs to Green Goblin.
Yeah, Black Cat needs to leave. I would actually be trying to trade Black Cat and Lizard around, to be honest. And hopefully Black Cat can take a hammer with her.
I was thinking actually Miles probably heads up to Lizard, right? And Black Cat will head to bottom left-ish, and Gwen also heading towards the bottom and just abandoning the middle point, right? And make Blair split his forces, split his kill power. He's got medium moves on medium bases and a short move on a medium base. He's not Oh, and Mysterio, who is the slowest character in the game. He's never catching you,
No,
right? So if he splits his forces, one character can run back to the middle and take it, but otherwise you just control both outsides, and there's nothing he can do.
correct, exactly. Lizard's sitting up there pretty. Lizard's going to be worth basically what? Lizard's essentially going to lock down that point. Lizard's going to have a hammer. You don't really want to see a hammer sitting out like that, but again, if it's sitting out like that, it's not being used against you either. So here's Ghost Spider. What are we going to do with her? Who is she going to protect? I'd probably sit her in between the 2 points, ready to lifesaver.
That's interesting. I do think she goes south, right? But okay, that makes more sense. I was gonna say I don't know that you get more than 4 away from Miles.
Yeah.
Although Venom currently has her kind of blocked, you're about to get the console push. So Venom,
Yeah. I would expect to
Venom won't be
see
a problem.
Venom probably sitting down near Doc Ock at the start of next
Just
turn.
confirming, you cannot end the objective push, right, for advance.
Let's have a look. So this one is during a power phase, opponent they control may choose an enemy character and they are pushed to S. And in Dom is when an allied character will be thrown or pushed by an enemy effect. That is an enemy effect, so you probably could Indom that, to be honest.
It is an enemy effect. Okay, I did not think it was an enemy effect because it was a crisis effect. Okay.
Yeah, I mean it's a crisis effect, but because it specifically just says enemy effect, not like is not pushed or not thrown by the enemy character. You know, if it was worded in that way. But we got Wargaming Dad sitting in chat, so he is our expert currently, as well as Wreath and a couple of the other boys. Can you indom a push? Not that you can this one. Oh, actually, Goblin's got the power for it.
Because it would be yeah, I mean it would be both like sword push, right? And then there's others. There's it's not coming to mind. The
Oh,
power
there's
push.
yeah, the
Many, right?
you're talking about the spider infected.
Yeah, spider infected, but there's another one.
Yeah.
There's another crisis push.
Yeah, spider infected is an advance, so definitely gets around in Dom. And I'm drawing an absolute blank on what the third one is.
It has a gain a couple power and get a push. I just don't remember the name of the crisis.
Can you indom this?
I love how
with a hesitant yes. Yeah, literally, like they're just talking about it. I'm inclined to say yes. Give me 1 sec.
Hey, Darren.
Yo, we're literally just looking at
right now.
We were talking about it as you guys said it.
Okay, no worries. Just to make sure you saw it.
Yep, just give me 30 seconds. I'll give you an answer.
Okay.
Yeah. If you want, get your power phase done and have all that set up ready to go, but I'll give you an answer real quick. I don't know if you spell indomitable.
Yeah, I was gonna say if I'm spelling this wrong, I'm never gonna find anything.
Pretty much, yeah. Dominant versus webline, dominant timing. It's always versus webline since the traps. Is only an enemy effect. Because it's an enemy controlling the sword, Wargaming Dad, does it count? Or is because it's crisis effect, you can't? As usual, with my luck with the rules forum, it is not up there.
Yeah, I was looking through it and not finding anything.
It'd be under sword base enemy effect. I think. Is it an enemy effect?
Wonder if it's in the FAQ as well. Might be something I look at here in a second. I mean, I know you don't get it for like Terrigen Cloud, right? You don't get damage from that because it's not an enemy effect.
Yep. So our current accuser has said that it's a crisis effect. So cannot.
Yep. And I'm not an accuser, so my opinion matters less, but I agree with that ruling.
There's so much things like this, and that's why I never took the test. There's literally so much going on.
Someday I think I might end up doing that.
Yeah, I know, right? But even then, when you check the rules for them, there you type in sword base, and it just doesn't come up. Like you think that'd be rule number 1?
I mean, I'm still there are still many rules that I'm like, oh, and like the specific ordering of things versus active player getting to pick an order is like still getting me sometimes, right?
Oh yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
Bleed is a good one. I was playing it wrong for like 20 games because I was bleeding and then healing, and apparently there's a very specific order to it, and bleed is last.
Yep. Bleed comes in last, so healing factor comes in first, and you don't gain power for it either. IR smart like a rock. Thanks for the prime sub, mate. Appreciate that. It's not like Indomitable is not going to get used this game. I mean, he's versing Web Warriors, so I would expect that to get fully used by probably the end of this turn anyway. I would love to see a card come out that stops, like, not stops your characters from getting thrown, but like stops opponent characters from being moved around in that manner.
I would love that. Yeah. Like a reverse PSD that actually is good in Cease Play.
Yep.
Like, you know, within this range, enemy characters can't be pushed or thrown. Or placed. Yep. Pushed or placed would be phenomenal.
Yeah, right? Like a little dead zone. That'd be awesome. I would love to see something like that. So
you have to cap at 3, right? Like any bigger than that, and it would be kind of absurd.
It'd just be massive. So we got Matt has done his sword push, and now Blair is going in hard. I'm curious to see who he's starting with here, but that's a decent roll.
Looks like Ock into Miles, probably. Maybe Ock into Black Cat.
Possibly. I mean, Doc Ock, doesn't he have some crit shenanigans? It's been a long time since he's in a Doc Ock, but when he rerolls dice,
he gets power for crit, but no, he has wild shenanigans is what it is.
That's it.
Wild count double.
So he gains his power for the crit. Ooh, and we're going to put 4 through here. Yep.
Yeah, force that foe reroll into Black Cat.
Luckily,
the problem is, like, he's probably not going to be... Oh, Black Cat's actually not in a good position because I don't think there is a pull that misses the building on the right side. And with Doc Ock's range 3, I don't think you can get Black Cat out of trouble here if he double taps.
No, you could. So, like, don't forget the way that the pull towards works for Ghost Spider, right? You get that right angle template, put it down. So you could actually pull Ghost Spider, Black Cat towards Ghost Spider, but down towards the size 4 building underneath her, or to her right.
Yeah, range 3 on Doc Ock though. Like, I'm pretty sure you're still in.
It's that'd only be sitting like maybe other side of the subway entrance, that green subway entrance. Not that massive.
I think range 3's to that grate right there by the building. Could be wrong.
Yeah, she could still probably make it right to the corner of that building. It'd be interesting to see though. I mean, I would absolutely be doing trying to save her here at this point. Or you just let it happen, right? I mean, she doesn't have anything to steal.
That's 6 dice. That's a spender, right?
Yeah.
So if he's willing to spend to kill her and that turned it into range 4, yeah, you just let her drop here.
Yeah, 100%. Plus, I mean, she doesn't have anything to steal yet, so there's no real point in keeping her up.
She doesn't have a token. There's nothing to steal. You already own the console. This is fine.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that she could have absolutely stolen just got pushed away with the sword. So we're going for our save here. Lifesaver, kick it in down towards the corner. Let's see if it gets out. Actually, you can probably go slightly further if he wants. Actually, no, he's sitting. He's sitting on the sitting on the shadow.
Right, the 4 doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Does it have you recheck stealth?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Because it's similar to like Trickster and stuff, right? You have to redo the attack.
Is outside of the attack's range or the attacker's LOS.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
But the targeting has already happened. I'm not actually sure that's the case, but I know I'm new, so it could be wrong.
Yeah, so basically the way I understand it is you essentially just redo the attack. But if you're outside the range, which, I mean, stealth kicks in, right? So stealth caps the range at 3.
Right. No, that's where I'm wondering, right? Because the phasing, and it could be wrong here, but again, there's more people in chat, so I'm happy to just kind of wonder
Yes.
here. Like, so like the targeting happens. So you have targeted her. She's within range 3.
Yep.
It,
Then she gets pulled
does not
outside,
ask
and
you
you
to
would
do that
remeasure.
again.
No,
Okay, it does.
You do remeasure, yeah.
You do remeasure that. Okay.
Yep. Because otherwise, it'd be the lifesaver if you got pulled out of range 2 of someone. You know, it'd be a lot more difficult. Although, what are we going with here?
I'm not sure. That's only. He only rolled 2 defense against Doc's energy attack, right?
Well, I don't think he advanced Doc, so he'd be probably going into Miles here.
Miles would have 3, I think. Right?
Unless he's got range on. No, you only have range on Miles. Yep. Thinking Miles got the incinerate. That's why.
Oh, okay. Didn't see the incinerate. Yep.
Yeah, it's hard. When you're on the sideways view, it can be difficult. So Shadow Marvel says, so Wargaming Dad says you don't recheck for stealth. You sit remeasure for a what?
You don't recheck for stealth. Yeah, no, that's what I thought, right? Because it doesn't call for rechecking now. You're past the targeting phase.
Yeah.
It just tells you to recheck for LOS and range.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So if you start within 3, then Gwen's pull doesn't save you with stealth. Well, that's probably for the best.
Yeah. That's interesting. So we're sitting, this is Black Cat going in. We're going to put a stagger onto Venom. And do we get the damage as well? Shame Venom doesn't have 1 more power. You could give her a party gift. It's actually probably lucky. That's actually really dangerous play by Matt, to be honest, because you do that single point of damage on that Venom. He gets 2 power. He can retaliate and kill you. Did he get the wild? Yeah, he did. So he gets to do his small advance and then long move. So getting her out of trouble. Suspect that she'll come back with a late steal in a couple of turns, but I think for now she's probably gone.
Yep, I think you're right. I think Lizard's gonna pick up the hammer and come party.
So run me through that, Darren. That is a weird. That's I would have. See, I've always done it like Trickster. You know, you just basically restart the whole thing. Like, can I still attack you, etc., etc. That's interesting. That sounds like you skip a phase. So you're saying that you would still be able to target Black Cat because you don't recheck for stealth. You don't remeasure.
Right. Yeah, it never sets back the phase, right? Trickster
Yeah,
does.
it's interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you play a game like you said. You played Bleed wrong for 20 games. I probably played Trickster wrong now for 100.
But yeah, no, the only 2 requirements are LOS and range.
Little interesting point for things like Trickster. You know, you got your rapid fire attackers.
Right.
So let's say I attack you with a rapid fire character, right? If you Trickster the second part of the attack, so you get hit with the first one, then decide, no, I need to leave for the second one.
They'll get their whole action back.
Yeah, you get the whole action back, which is, you know, can be infinitely worse. Just a free attack.
Yep.
So bleed and damage going into Miles from Venom. Venom's first action is to shake the stagger. So that is Venom done. Did he interact with the point? I would hope he's going to. Yes, there we go. Let's have a look. He gets it. This is why I like Sword.
Yep, does not matter how many people own it, right?
Yep, so Blair currently owning the swords. And we've got 2 hammers sitting on Matt's side. So I'd expect Lizard's going to grab that top hammer and probably move towards the center. So Shadow Marvel says, yeah, the attack has not ended. You are still in the attack sequence. That's interesting. I've probably seen 1 million people play that wrong then, because that's one of those things. I think I've even seen like top table play that wrong. They probably don't now because it doesn't come up too often, but that's very interesting.
Yeah, so the Lizard's gonna come down, but like that's definitely not your action this turn, right?
No, that's your last action.
I mean, I think Miles has to do something, right? Because there's a distinct possibility that Miles doesn't activate if he doesn't go now.
Oh yeah.
It's not like super high, but there's a goblin with a hammer nearby.
Yeah, exactly. Move, 6 die attack. You're incinerated. There's a very, very high chance you're gonna take 3 damage.
I mean, he's got He's got both of the mobile characters nearby. I'm
Yeah,
wondering if
we're
you
going with
move
Miles.
in. Okay, going with Miles. Yep. Yeah. So we spent for a place.
So we're going with violence.
And that looks like it's into Venom based on the defense. Oh no, it could be off.
Yeah, it could be either
Probably
or.
Venom.
Probably Venom, right? No, maybe Ock. Neither of them is what's the name of it? Really doing anything. Like neither of them has a hammer or anything.
I think throwing Venom into Ock would be pretty strong here, but also just yeeting him off the point is.
I think get him off the point. Venom makes more sense. Does it get him out of counter revenge attack range? No, it does not. So Venom should take 3 damage here, which will sit him on 4 power. Luckily, that's 1 shy of getting nailed with the Wombo combo.
Yeah. I think we don't actually slap back on Miles here.
I would. I don't think Venom's getting attacked again this round, so I would absolutely put 1 into him. You daisy him at this point of the turn as well means he can't get away.
Yeah, that's true. It's true.
I just saw Matt put the token down. I'd be interested to see if that was just rushing it, like just going through and just going through the motions, or 1. It's not good.
What token are we talking about here?
On to the point.
Oh, okay.
Pinging those boys on that. You can't re-roll against Venom.
Yep. Not sure if they caught it or not.
I mean, they equaled out, right? Like there was 1 block and 1 hit, so it didn't matter anyway. It was just for future.
Yep.
Alright,
so yeah, he med-packed Miles, and then looks like they did do the point, like you said.
Yeah, perfect.
A little bit
There we
early
go.
because he might not have been there, but it ended up being okay.
Yeah, exactly. Like he might have been dazed at that point, so just wanted, if we had to backtrack it, we could go for it, but they've come good. So Miles, 1 more action left. Does he go for? Should have 1 more action left, right?
Yeah, he's still got Goblin and Mysterio. Oh no, it's Miles. No, he shook Incinerate.
True. Yep. Had to turn. You got to turn sideways, and when you're on the sideways view, you can't see anything.
I think if I'm Blair, I pass here.
What do we got? We got 2 actions left to 3. Yes, I would pass. Although that being said, if you pass, odds are it's probably just going to be the lizard activation, but you may as well force it out now.
Right. No, I mean,
There is
it's
no
Lizard.
activation except for maybe like a sneaky push from range 4 push from Gwen. That is going to change your turn if you activate now or next activation. So I'll tell you what, not used to commentating at this hour of the morning. It's definitely an
What time is it for you?
experience. I woke up at 1:45 a.m.
Ooh, all right.
Yeah.
Yep, that's quite early. I'm not even asleep by then most of the time.
Yeah, me neither normally. I am in day shift mode. I've just finished 2 of my day shifts, so I wake up for day shift at 3 a.m. So I am still in early mode, but yeah.
Looks like Miles is still getting cover. That's really bad for Goblin. Goblin needs to just be going into Spider here. Spider-Gwen.
Yeah, I mean, she doesn't have the power right now. Might be the best time to try and get him. I mean, it's still 6 dice, right? But not with rolls like that. So we've got 2 blocks. Get the wild. Does Goblin do anything of a wild? Bag of tricks. I would hand out another incinerate. Get him prepped.
You've got 2. Yeah, you can't even, like, even forcing a reroll doesn't. Oh, okay, yeah, it does do. Yeah, nothing.
Hand out the incinerate though.
Wasn't a hit and run apparently, which.
Did he have the power for it? He did have the power for it. I mean, I would have probably hit and run that, assuming that I'm going to sneak 1 damage in to try and flip that console, to be honest.
Yep.
either way, at least you can sit yourself on the console so that when he pushes you at the start of next turn, if you fail it, you're not going to be pushed out of range because he's range 4.
Yeah. Also, like, you can get right up against that building, right? Deny a lot of the push angle.
Yeah.
Oh, we're violence against Venom still. Okay.
I mean, it is Lizard, right? What's the worst that can happen?
No,
As in with
I don't think
with the
Lizard's in any
punchback.
danger.
Ooh,
I'm
double
just
block.
not sure. I'm not sure that Venom is like a person that you want to prioritize killing, but I guess it's the option that he has right now. So
I don't mind the prioritized kill on Venom because he stops all your modifications in defense, which Web Warriors definitely do not want to see. So of the 4 characters on the other side of the board, I think he is the one that you prioritize. Goblin gets stronger on his flip side. Mysterio, same. And Doc Ock, you could probably safely ignore.
I don't think so. Doc Ock has a range 3 character throw.
That is true, but it is 3 power. So, I mean, he's got it online now, but if he does it and doesn't do any damage, he can't flip anything. Like Doc Ock was in the original Wakanda wave, and then he got phased out for faster characters. So if you don't power him up, the odds are you're not gonna have to worry about that throw more than once a game.
Yeah, I mean he has 4 next turn, right? So it's a walk, a punch, and a throw, like easy.
So you were saying that you struggled with rules interactions where it's like, okay, we both have the same rule trigger of, when the attack is resolved, and that is that what you were struggling with?
No, it was the weird timing, like the bleed one, right? Where there is a specific sequence. It did not fall under the umbrella of like player with prio.
Yep.
Like chooses the order, right? And so I'm getting used to that. The idea in this game that pretty much everything has a specific timing phase, and there's never like a competition on
man.
2 abilities happening.
Poor Blair. I will say that Matt's defense dice has been probably 2 blocks minimum every roll. So I would expect you would be hoping for that to spin around next round.
And it's gonna have to, right? 1-5 is bad.
Yeah, 100%.
Depending on your low roster, right? Like I'm pretty consistently 1-5 or 1-6 at the start of my turns, but that is a whole different game I'm playing. But yeah, no, the timings have just it's been a thing to learn, right? It's not not so much a struggle, right? It's just like it takes games to get the reps and like learning. The idea that like Winter Soldier actually like completely bamboozled me the first time he did it because he went into Venom and he hit me 3 times, right? Before I'm allowed to counterattack the first one. But then I learned later, like, oh, okay, so I can counterattack up to 3 times.
Yep.
Because you respond to every attack.
I mean, obviously Venom's like you get to do it once per turn, but you get 3 options at triggering when it happens, right?
Right.
Yeah. So not much happening currently. Toad just popping off a little bit, sneaking some damage in on Mysterio, but Mysterio has just been absolutely powered up from that after his attack dice flops. Looks like Toad managed to get his push as well because he's got a hammer, so he's got real good odds for it. Or was that? No, that was actually Ghost Spider. And she has a hammer, so she was doing 5 dice impact webbings. Nasty.
Not sure there was line of sight there, honestly.
Yeah. No, he was No, he was right to the left at that point. So all you got to do is
like the stoplight, right?
Yeah. All you got to do is see a tiny bit of the base and you're good. Unless that was Toad's activation. Kind of had to be in Toad's activation, right? He's on 2 power. I just don't think he's put the activation token down. So sitting outside of Green Goblin, you want to see that. We do not have Mysterio in range because he's got stealth.
I'd want to be in 4 Green Goblin, honestly. Like you've got stealth, he doesn't have.
With Ghost Spider.
Oh, yep, nope, you're right.
Yeah. Sorry, I should have opened with that. Cleanup phase, so big spike. So we're going to 11 for Matt.
11-2.
Yeah.
And
still come back from this.
What's up?
I said you can still come back from this if you're Blair, right? There's 7 victory points sitting. Yeah, 7 victory points sitting on the table. You should have a big swing go your way.
Yeah, I think you need a double daze this turn, though.
Yes. Yeah, he needs to utilize his priority really nicely here.
Venom is gonna have to get a perfect lethal protector off here this turn.
Yeah, to get him back in place. That's the other thing, right? If you attack Doc Ock here, lethal protector is what, range 3 or range 2? Range 3.
3. Yeah.
Yeah, so I would be trying to hang out some bait if I was Blair at this stage. I would not be dazing Miles because he's only got 1 damage again. I'd probably be looking to bring Green Goblin's going to come to the bottom of this board to take on Ghost Spider and Toad. Bring back in Mysterio, and I'd be trying to hang out my Doc Ock as bait to allow Lethal Protector Venom to teleport back on point for the back end of the turn. That's kind of what I'll be going down here.
Yep. Nope. I think that's absolutely right. I think if Matt gets an activation, what we're gonna see is Lizard just go to try to put Venom down. If no one's within 2 of Venom, so now you're going backwards if you want to field dressing, and you don't have the power anyway.
Yep.
Mysterio into spiders was because he's so slow. He doesn't have the movements.
Yeah. So we've got climbing gear sitting there. I'm trying to think who you will be looking at climbing gear here.
Oh, Mysterio, 100%.
Yeah.
His action economy is so bad. Most games, I would say. In this particular case, I guess I could see a case for Goblin.
Yep.
Climbing's 2, right?
3, I think.
No, climbing's 3. Okay,
yeah.
Nope. So Goblin's just having a bad day.
I mean, he'd have to pay an extra for the hammer as well, so it's actually 4 for Goblin.
Yeah, no. Like Goblin getting pushed out of position repeatedly is rough. I think Goblin needs to be way more aggressive than he's being.
Yeah, he's Goblin is currently getting dominated by a sword push.
Push and then spider pushes. Like I think you need to just be up in there, right? Like nothing bad happens to you for being close to spiders.
Right. Like if he'd done a hit and run last round and sat himself base to base with Miles, he would have a really nice priority turn this round. Even though he wouldn't have got to interact with the console because he didn't do any damage, but you would have set yourself up for this turn.
Yeah.
Mysterio can literally open his turn up by doing climbing gear, so Mysterio is not concerned about getting back on point. Doc Ock's in a relatively good place. Like you said, his character throw is now online.
I think, depending on what Blair does here, right? Because I'm pretty sure Blair has the prio. Yep.
I don't think Blair has done power phase. I cannot see it.
No, he's not. Blair, well, there's something else happening
just before he gets into it. There we go. I was like, something's.
Yeah, so there is climbing gear available for Goblin, and I think that's absolutely how you lead off the turn. Then, you climb in gear so you can get in range. You throw an attack and hope to God you can hit and run and get even closer.
Exactly.
Oh, is he passed?
I don't mind that. I mean, he doesn't really have anything in place to take full advantage of Cryo anyway, so I don't mind that.
It was risky. I definitely expected a all webbed up Miles play here.
Me too.
With that's why I was surprised. Like when Gwen was started measuring, I'm like, I just assumed Miles was gonna take a move over, lay it down, and then take his 1 attack.
Yep.
Like, Miles getting dazed here is fine. You're at 11-2. Like at this point, you're not trying to play attrition. You're trying to score 5 points.
One second, just taking care of a little bit of admin.
All good. Blair is deliberating here. I guess your other option is, you walk up with Venom. You really don't want to, though. Venom's gonna go fight Lizard?
Yes. I don't mind that. Venom's still got his lethal protector, so you might still get him on turn on point. I would probably try to advance. I mean, Lizard, of all the characters, he does have a hammer, right? Like, you're going to have to get off him eventually. You don't have any steel mechanics. I would probably be looking at a well-laid plans. Do we have power for it? It's 3 power, so we do not have power for it currently. So I would be probably looking at a Green Goblin activation to get a single power to pop off well-laid plans.
No, we have it right.
Hammer.
No,
Hammer.
Goblin.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's the number. I think the hammer being having to pay extra for tactics cards quite possibly could be the number one thing that people forget in Marvel.
Easily.
Yeah.
As you can see by how much I forget it.
Oh, it was just such a really specific interaction, right? Like you have to have a hammer and be the person paying for a tactic card. So it may not come up, right? At all, or it might come up multiple times in a game.
Yeah, I think Lizard is just. I agree. You have to get that hammer from Lizard.
Yeah.
But like you have so much, like you have so many other problems to deal with right now. Like you have to take a console.
Yep.
You have to daze Miles.
Yes.
And Venom has the best shot of dazing Miles with the you can't reroll your dice.
Correct.
An attack into Lizard. I think if Venom goes into Lizard, this game is over.
So we got the climbing gear coming from Mysterio. I really like this because he can interact with that for free. Or not for free, but there's nothing there stopping him from owning it.
Right.
So you're going to take that. Hopefully you can put Toad in the ground. He's only got 5 health, so you got okay odds for it. Toad currently has a hammer as well. So if you can swing that with Mysterio this round, that would be really nice. It's coming back to if he'd hit and run on Goblin last round. I mean, I don't want to stick to it, but his life would be infinitely easier this round, right? Because he can open with Goblin, drop well-laid plans, potentially pick up a hammer or two on Goblin.
No, that's a common thing I actually see with Goblin players, with foe players. I actually started the game with foes. That doesn't make me an expert, but I know them. I love them. Like Goblin's a 4/3/3 with 7 vitality who wants to flip.
Yep.
You don't want to sit back at range 4. You want to get into range 4 and just keep going.
Yep. Chuck him in there. So odds are he should be able to sneak a damage through here. He can still do the Spider Foes reroll. Still, option is still there for him. The beauty of the Spider Foes reroll is it comes in right at the end. So you can even reroll cover, which is kind of nasty.
Yeah, but if flopped, he only was sending 1. So.
Yeah. I need Blair's attack dice to really turn on here because they have been horrific. No.
Yep, and it got worse.
Jeez. Did he flip the point?
He hasn't tried yet.
And there's no one there. He just auto flips it, right?
I think so.
Yeah, there we go.
Like a sword thing. Yep.
Done deal. One of the annoying things about how Tabletop TO is currently set up is that unless you set yourself up as the league, you cannot record your victory points, which is frustrating. So that's why you're going to start seeing people throw it into the channel just to backtrack.
Gotcha.
It's just for you when you're in round 2.
I like margin of victory.
Yeah.
Like it's not perfect, okay, but it's so much better than strength of schedule.
Oh man, you're starting an age-old debate here. I fully agree with you, obviously, but
strength of schedule is a bad system, and I'll fight anyone.
Yeah, 100%. All webbed up. Very nice. Like to see that. And I would probably be looking at. Jeez.
We daze Venom here.
I don't know. You probably could just leave. You might be able to just walk him away, but we may as well go for a punch. Is he in range of Venom? No, he's going to go Doc Ock. Because if you push Doc Ock here, right, that's essentially a stagger with the all webbed up turn. And there's the push. Or the throw, sorry.
Yep, and the crit.
So you got the wild. So Doc Ock will take 1.
Through, but that's not.
Yeah.
That's actually perfect. Like, he didn't even want to do a lot of damage.
No, you just wanted to sneak that wild in is all you really were going for there.
Displace him and move on.
The number one thing that he needs to not do here, Indom, very nice, is for the love of God, do not throw him into Green Goblin.
No, Goblin needs power starved forever.
Yeah, you cannot let Goblin get one more through. I would have lethal protected that. Like we spoke about, that's what you would be going for, right? You lethal protector, Venom teleports up, essentially potentially wipes out like that's the bait we were talking about.
Yeah. It's a little risky because Venom's got a decent chance of getting dazed to that, but
True.
Even then, like you've got the positioning, Goblin's got No, he only had 4 power. So, oh yeah, sorry, Auk. Auk had the 4 power and no hammer, so he could have field dressing.
We got a We Are
Which isn't
Venom coming
ideal,
in.
but it was an option. Bit of what?
A We Are Venom.
Yep.
Blair really needs some of his attack dice to spike above average, because currently he is below or on average.
Nope, he's re-rolling. He can't. Oh, he made him re-roll. Never mind. We're good. That was foe's re-roll.
Thank you. Heal a few wounds. Very nice. Sadly, can't really do much else.
That's what he needed, though. Like, slow doesn't matter for Venom. We just take a walk, right? Take a walk, try to pin yourself against Doc Ock so Lizard pushes.
Well, you got the web-like pull, right? I'd be looking to try and utilize that this round. You can pull Lizard medium in, I guess, towards you.
I don't know. Like, this console, I think he's right. Abandon the top console.
Yeah, well, the only two, as long as you should need to win majority, right?
Right. Yeah, you ban the top when you try to own the bottom 2. He just needs to take a hammer from Toad or somehow get to Gwen, which seems pretty much impossible.
Well, he's bringing in Lizard.
Okay.
Well, we know he chooses fairly aggressive options, right? And that is a very aggressive option.
No, I'm all for aggressive. I'll applaud anyone for taking the aggressive option even when it's wrong.
100%.
Okay, so I love MCP. I'm here, and it's a great game. It's not without flaws, like every game. And I think one of its big one is there is a few too many things in the game that decentivize
attacking,
like opponent interaction. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there's the play style of avoiding attacking your opponent, or
I hate it.
it's just take things and run away. No, it's bad for the game.
Yeah.
It's effective. I'm not saying the people who do it are bad people or bad players, but I think it is an unhealthy thing to exist in the game. As it does, if there were more things, if there were more Indomitables, right, or better versions of it, right?
Yep.
A bubble or some more characters like Jean who are not Jean.
Yeah. Good.
I don't think she's as bad as people say. The internet has a lot of opinions about the game, and most of the time they're wrong.
Yeah. Jean's a character that I struggle, and I've never seen anybody really get the most out of it, because the kid's so awkward, right? Doesn't know what it wants to do. It wants to go first because I'm a 5 threat, but I also want to go last, but I'm not tanky enough to go last, and et cetera, et cetera. So Lizard's just done a move, and he's done his attack. He's snuck a couple of damage in, and gotten his push, I believe it is. I want to say it's push. Yeah.
I mean, so this turn is super easy, right? We go with Goblin, we make sure you get a little few points, and we pop a well-laid plans.
Yes, yeah, Goblin basically has to, right? This has to be Goblin.
No, you wait. You want to wait. You're trying to get Black Cat activate, actually.
Does she have the power to steal? She doesn't have the power to steal, so you probably could... She's got a double move, so you can...
Well, but she's going to pick the hammer from Gwen back up.
Yeah, good point.
So waiting that out...
Doing a throw here as well onto Venom.
Throw on Venom? All right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind this. Just throwing him out of position.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think it's wrong.
Size 3 into Doc Ock. This has a actual decent, small chance of dazing him here.
It's a small chance. Probably just going to fuel him, but yeah, Doc's fine.
Does he take damage? He takes 2 damage.
2?
So he's now on 9 power. That's dangerous. That's danger zone. Oh, Travis, what happened there? I'm just seeing some of the results filter in.
23-0. Okay.
0. What the hell happened there?
I
think Travis is officially cursed. So he like best brother ever, right? Wakes up for all my tournaments I'm running and competes in them. His last tournament, albeit he was trying to do it and juggle kids at the same time, did not win a game at all. He also ran a bit of a meme squad. Ooh, got a disconnect. A little timeout there.
Yeah. Was that a crash? Was that a fail?
Did you DC as well?
Yes, I did. That doesn't look good.
That's right. It auto saves, so it will come back.
Yeah.
We'll just give it a sec. So Travis said I was being cute with Thanos and Dormammu at 16. He was a dirty boy and went wide with Thanos and attacked me once in 6 rounds. Dirty dog. Like we just spoke about, right? Getting attacked once in 6 rounds never feels good.
Nope. For at risk of giving away too much, I swing maybe way too hard the other way, to where like a lot of my wins only happen because like I can score all the points at the end.
Yep.
I just lean all the way into attrition.
Oh,
That's
mate,
rough,
100%. You're speaking my language here.
Thanos and Dormammu is amusing, right?
Yep.
I don't think anyone went into that with great expectations.
Oh no, Travis. I was talking to me this morning. I'm gonna run Wakanda, but I've got some spots left, so I'm just gonna throw Dormammu in, and I'm gonna throw in a 16 threat thing. Secure. I think he's going to secure. Just to see what happens, right? Because if you got 16 threat secure, something like Mayor Fisk, you can put one on each side, and off you go. But yeah, that's rough. Yeah. That I don't think anybody. That's probably one of the worst Marvel losses I've ever seen. 23-0.
Hyper Viper handed me a very similar one very recently.
Give me 1 sec. I'm just going to jump down channel and I'll ask these boys when they want us to jump back in.
No problem. I will be back in a second.
Hey boys, just shout out when you want us to jump back in the game. Did you guys DC at all?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, cool. Just double checking it wasn't just us.
Yep. So should we just loading the game right now? I just got to catch up. So
yeah, all good.
Everywhere.
Blair, I'm going to need you to go ahead and throw all those dice in the bin, mate, and get some really good attack dice.
Oh my god, it was. Oh my gosh.
I don't think I've seen you roll above average yet.
No.
You're either sitting below or above, or right on it.
All
well,
right,
on the upside, you didn't just lose like Travis just did, where Travis just lost 23-0.
I saw that.
Yeah.
All right, so let's try and catch up. Miles is dazed.
Same server name?
Yeah, everything's the same.
Got it. Come back in now.
Spent 3, took 3, so he's still at 4. These 3 are slowed.
Just waiting for it to load, but we should be good to go back in. So they were just saying, they were just recapping what was happening, which was that Miles is dazed. Yep, nice. They're just repositioning everything. Looks like they've recovered it from the autosave. Which is never exact, but I mean, I don't think... There's not often where those little minor measurements really matter in this game, which is kind of nice. It's not like X-Wing where like a literal millimeter could matter, 10 turns down the line.
It can come up, but like, yeah, it's for the most part pretty negligible most of the time.
Exactly.
Yeah, so we look back online here. Everything is as it should be.
Yep. I was just saying to Blair, I was like, I'm going to need you to go ahead and turn on your attack dice, and he just started laughing.
Blair's activation, I think, right?
Yep. Indomitable's been used as well. All webbed up is used, or currently on the all webbed up turn.
Yeah, so we've got Cat and Toad on that team. The problem is you need to flip that console in the middle.
Yeah, I mean, Doc Ock could probably do it. Doc Ock could probably do it. But he needs to open with Goblin.
He can't, so he has to try. Like, both characters are going to have to try.
Yeah.
Right, potentially.
Yeah. Needs to be careful as well, because Toad, if everything goes Toad's way, he's going to be able to push Mysterio and then flip that bottom console. So you need to have someone available to head to that. With the slows, I don't know if it's going to be able to happen, though. So if I'm Matt, personally, I'm looking at saving Toad till my last activation, and I'm going to try and put that bottom console, because I know that there's a extremely high chance that there's nothing Blair can do about it.
Right. Nope, I don't hate that at all.
Mm.
Which means Goblin has to be last, right? Because he's the only one who can. It's still not good, right? But
yeah.
I think you've got to move, hit and run console.
Yeah, 100%. So I think Goblin last anyway, because you want to do the well-laid plans at the very last moment. I mean, scooping up the hammers would be nice, but just the fact that you can deny them is probably good enough.
Yeah, right
It also
now,
does
right now
damage
you're
as
trying to
well.
stop the hemorrhaging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does damage as well. So there's a world where you could potentially get some sneaky dazes here.
That's a spender coming from Auk,
I like it.
which means Auk is not getting to the middle point. So this is gonna have to. It's a risky play, but I don't know if it's wrong. He's in a bad spot. So.
What does the spender from Op do? Pierce, and that's it. So he's going to pierce one of those. So 0 blocks, so 3 into Lizard.
Yeah, I don't love Auk Spender, honestly. Like, most of
Yeah,
the time, I
I
feel like
mean-
you would rather be using his power on throws.
Through that, but range 4, 6 dice with a pierce is not bad. Except for when you do that.
Yep.
Poor Blair.
So Lizard lives pretty
You
trivially
just get the
here.
sneaky reroll in. Spider-Verse reroll,
Got a damage throw.
slip another one in.
That's Auk. Auk still has enough to plans, so that's good. Yeah, no, I mean, I think we go with Black Cat and we just spit in circles.
You probably
we
still
go somewhere maybe,
you
but-
probably walk her onto that point to just make it so that at least there's no world where he can walk up and flip it. Looks like we're going with Toad though. Choosing balance.
I mean, if Toad gets the objective, it's just game.
Yes.
Because he can't. There is no world where a slowed.
No push though yet.
No push. Yeah, good defense roll here. Maybe. Nope.
No push, just damage. So it's going to come down to a 50-50 here. I think if he successfully gets a 50-50, then like you said, it's game.
Another attack from Toad.
He's just done 2.
That was the first one, wasn't it?
No, the first one did 0, and then that one there just did a couple.
Okay.
0 being 6 health on his healthy side, so solid.
Yep. Here's the flip.
Let's see it. I believe that's successful.
Hit crit wild, I think. Yep. All right, so we can't take the console back, and so Matt scored 3 just off consoles.
So he'll go to 14, plus he's got...
Well-laid plans has to get 2 objectives, or 2 hammers.
No pressure. No pressure on this well-laid plans. I mean, he can get that bottom console, he just can't get the mid, like, he's lacking the middle console, right?
Right.
Because like you said, move and then shoot Toad with a hit and run on Goblin, you will get to that bottom console in Mysterio, but...
I don't think you do, honestly. I think you do a hit and run Pumpkin Bomb into Lizard. So flipping a console right now does not matter. I think you need the dazes. I think you need the hammers.
True. I mean, there is a hammer down on Toad as well.
You just worry about the flips next turn. Like it sucks, but I think that's the only option you have.
What do you think's easier, 2 damage into Lizard or 5 damage into Toad?
I'm Green Goblin. I want both. Which is greedy.
Yep.
So if he gets, so really what it is you spend the 2 for the hit and run, and you throw a bomb into Lizard, right?
Yeah.
And if you can get the 2, which is not unreasonable, then you make a really hard decision as to whether or not you think, because I think you can get within 3, right? Then you have to decide if you think a Knight of the Goblin can put Toad down. It shouldn't, but again, you're not in a good spot. So
I think that they're doing the well-laid plans here.
Nope, he's forgotten hammers.
Let me just jump down real quick.
Yep.
Hey boys, is this the well-laid plans?
Yeah.
Don't forget you got a hammer on Green Goblin.
Oh, so you can't even afford it.
Well, you just got to do an attack first. You just got to generate a power. If you generate one single power,
Yeah.
you can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You should have 4 to.
Yeah. All right. Let's go to pumpkin bombs into Liz. Energy attack.
Yeah, I think.
Yep. They're just
And-
quickly doing it. I would suspect that this is definitely going to do it. 5. So going to daze Lizard, which will make him drop his hammer. And now they'll, if they have a gentleman's agreement, they'll stick with the roll on Ghost Spider.
Goblin should, again, didn't matter here, but should be rolling one more die. He has a hammer.
Yeah.
So hopefully he remembers that if he takes another shot.
Yep. We need dazed him. This is the World Lake plans going into Toad. World Lake plans go off on only crits and wilds, so I think Toad gets out of it. Oh no, there's a wild in there.
No, there's a wild there.
Yeah,
He's taking
no,
one.
nice.
It's
So
not a lot of damage, but it is a hammer, right?
does drop it as well, doesn't it? If it does damage, it drops, right?
Yes? Question mark?
Yes.
I think you're deciding where. Yes.
Roll 5 dice for each enemy character. If a character damaged in this way, it drops all objective tokens it's holding. I would say just Toad drop.
Yeah. Nope, I think that's definitely a hammer drop from Toad. Goblin's not getting a second attack off. That's
They're dropping it now. Nice.
okay. Yep.
Love to
Just
see
put
it.
hammer- Exactly.
So
Exactly
that
right.
went fairly well for Blair there.
I mean, it's gonna keep him in the game for sure. Like
Yeah.
Blair's gonna pick up a hammer, which is gonna put him at 15 points. But that is
Sorry, Matt.
Matt. Yeah, sorry,
Yeah,
Matt is gonna
you're
pick up a hammer, but at 15 points.
So 2 hammers on Goblin, and so we should go to 15 for, so no mean feat. I have won a game from this position before, but definitely difficult in that you need to stop all victory points being coming from Matt moving forward.
Right. Which I do think it is pretty over. Only because of Black Cat having a hammer. With her stealth and Gwen back there.
Oh yeah, it's difficult.
I don't see a way where you put a damage in a Black Cat unless Matt makes a mistake. Right?
It's one of those things, right? You're trying to see into the future, but if he put that Ghost Spider hammer all the way forward, at least he gives himself a chance at moving up and getting rid of her.
A little bit. I mean, that was a double move from Spider, right? So she's gonna go to the back row no matter what.
Well, that's what I mean. So if you put it all the way forward, at least she's sitting between that building in the middle and Ghost Spider. So at least you give yourself a chance to walk and punch her once and deal her damage, so she can't just snatch and run. Whereas now she's all the way back, right? It's basically there's no world where he can hit her. So that point is being secured no matter what, I think.
No, I agree. I think you try to close your margin of victory. You try to give it a good game. But unfortunately, I think this one is pretty sealed.
Agreed. Yeah, 100%. So between rounds, praying that TTS cooperates and doesn't do what it did to me last time, which is not pair winners with winners and people who lost people with people at loss. I really don't have to deal with that.
That would be an exciting problem to try to fix manually.
Where did Bazane go? Is he typing in general?
Suitable one now. I'm guessing buys count as 0 for margin of victory. So
You get 8.
8. Okay.
Yeah, you basically you won your buy 8-0.
All right. That's not awful, right?
No, I mean 8 plus 8's it's good. Like it's not plus 23, but it's good.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. Like we have a 5-round cap, but at 33 players, is that how many we have?
We're at 23 players, so
23. It can't go past 4 rounds, can it? Right? In my
well,
brain.
what's that? Let's just assume 24. So 23 goes to what 12 winners. goes to 6, goes to 3,
goes to 2. Okay, so yeah,
and then
still the party
3 potentially can go to 1 if the person who pairs down loses.
Right.
Looks like they caught it there. So they just finished up. Not doing interviews today. I tried to do interviews last time with the tournament, but it actually ended up being quite difficult.
Like
so yeah,
the players in the.
oh yeah, it's just there's so much going on in the background, so it's just a pain in the butt.
I think
Yeah.
it's cool.
So yeah, I mean it is good, but it's just I'll do it for the final match, but not for the lead ups, because otherwise it just adds this trickle down effect and then adds an hour to the end of the day.
Right on. We're only an hour into the round. Is that about right?
We've got an hour left. Yeah, so about 50 minutes, 45 minutes remaining. So, yeah, that's it from this one, mate. Thank you very much for helping me. So I got a win to Matt. So good luck in your next game.
Appreciate it.
All right, guys. That's it for round 1. So first win goes to Matt. Just give you some of the scores from the other games. Where are we looking right here? So some of the other games, we've got Twitty versus Michael Turner was a win to Twitty, 16-4. We've got Travis lost to Josh Deaton, 23-0. Mazane just got up 18-3, and we just saw Matt. So yeah, got some big scores going on. Yeah, check back in let's say round has got 45 minutes remaining. So guys, check back in 50 minutes. If you hit follow on the channel, it'll prompt you if I go live early, but I'll post it all on Facebook anyway. So yeah, take it easy, guys. See you the next one, Darren, if you're hanging around. See you guys.